Today, we're gonna show you how to install the new Oracle flush LED taillights on a Jeep Gladiator. So let's go ahead and get started. In order to take the taillight out, you're gonna need a 5/16 or 8mm socket. There's 2 screws that hold on the taillight. And now taking the taillight out might actually take a little bit of force. You have to kind of hit it, and pop it loose, like that. Once out, pull the clip down, and unplug the factory harness. So just a note, if you have the factory blind spot sensors, fast forward to the end of the video, we'll show you how to swap those over into the new taillight. All right, so now we're ready to install the taillight. When we look at the back, we have a few things going on here. One is the main harness. This is gonna plug into the factory harness. That's easy. The secondary harness plugs into the sensor. If you're not equipped with a sensor, you don't need to worry about it. The third thing is this LED resistor right here. Since we took LED taillights off this vehicle, we don't need to have this. We could set this on the side. But if you have halogen taillights, you're gonna need to mount this. So let's go ahead and take a look at where to mount this. All right, so to install this, we would basically just double stick it and then plug this into the taillight. Again, this is only needed if you have halogen lights. But if you do get a turn signal out error and you have this plugged in, it means it needs to be unplugged. If you get a turn signal out error and you don't have it plugged in, it means you need to have it plugged in. All right, now we go ahead and plug in the taillight. We're gonna push this in until we hear a click, and then we're gonna slide the red tab up. So now we're just gonna install the factory screws that came out of it. We're gonna put this in kind of loose initially. And we're just gonna check the gap around the bodywork, make sure everything's nice and tight. And once we confirm it's nice and tight, then we can tighten it down. We don't need to over torque this. We just wanna get it cinched up, that's all you need. All right, so now let's go ahead and take a look at how to remove the factory sensor. The factory sensor is back behind this cover here. When we turn the light over, we'll see we've got the plug here. We just need to unclip this, remove that, and then we have 6 screws. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 that we're gonna go ahead and remove. All right, so with the screws now removed, the sensor and the cradle will pop out together. We can then release the sensor out of the cradle and set the factory taillight and everything else on the side. All right, so now we have the Oracle light. All we have to do now is install the sensor. The sensor is gonna go behind this panel right here. We've got our sensor cradle. So we're gonna go ahead and remove these 4 screws to remove the cradle and install the sensor. Now we're gonna take our sensor, put it inside the cradle, and reinstall the cradle back onto the taillight. So now we're gonna take our plug for our sensor, and simply plug it in, listen for it to click, and then click the red tab down.